Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the Toyota Arena in Ontario, California, and the show just finished. And Monday Night Raw tonight, I thought it was a solid show, in my opinion. There was a lot of stuff that I liked on the show. You had your, mid points. But overall, solid show it was. But tonight on Monday Night Raw, we had Sami Zayn in action, and he had taken on Ludwig Kaiser. Dragon Lee was in action, and he had taken on Carlito. We had Bronson Reed versus The Miz. We had Damage Control. We had Io Sky, and also Kairi Sane. They have taken on the Unholy Union, Alba Fire, and Isla Dawn. We had the Creed brothers in action, Bruce and Julius Creed of American Made. And they have taken on the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. And the main event, the Intercontinental Championship was on the line, where Bron Breakker defended the title against Jey Uso. But like I said, Monday Night Raw, solid show it was tonight. Of course, we are building towards Bad Blood, to which Bad Blood is next Saturday, and it is shaped up to be a good show in Atlanta next Saturday. But anyway, let's jump right into the review. Monday Night Raw open up tonight with Liv Morgan, the Women's World Champion, and Dominic Mysterio. So before they got into the ring, you know how WWE always, has cameras with their superstars arriving to the arena, very sports feel. We saw Dominic and Liv Morgan. They arrived to the arena in a lowrider, of course, reminiscent of the late great Eddie Guerrero. And I'm like, Dominic is trying to be like Eddie Guerrero, with the mullet and now the lowrider, from what we saw tonight. And Dominic and Liv Morgan arrived at the arena. And as they entered the arena, Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed tackled each other through a merchandise stand that was at the entrance of the arena. And I'm like, why is there a merchandise stand backstage in the arena? I'm like, that's a weird place for that to be. So we had officials end up coming over to check on Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. So that led to Dominic and Liv Morgan end up walking into the arena. They made their way through Gorilla and onto the stage. So we had Liv Morgan and Dominic end up making their way into the ring. The crowd end up booing at them. Liv Morgan got on the mic. She ended up saying some of them might not know what they just did. But what they just did was a victory lap. Of course, we had Liv Morgan and Dominic end up doing that. And Liv ended up saying, oh, with that victory lap, that's what winners do. Something that the crowd wouldn't know anything about. So Liv ended up saying that they're celebrating because the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour is going exactly as she planned. She ended up saying if they need any proof as to who runs Monday Night Raw, she has some tape. So she ended up rolling the footage, and it was footage of last week on Raw where Damian Priest ended up beating Dominic, and then, of course, the Judgment Day ended up beating the hell out of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. So Liv Morgan ended up saying that she promised to take everything from Rhea Ripley. And that's exactly what she did. Liv ended up saying that she took away the Women's World Championship and she took the Judgment Day. And that they are hers. And Liv ended up saying that she also took from Rhea Ripley the most gorgeous man in the entire world, Dominic Mysterio. So both Liv and Dominic end up rubbing noses together. Rhea Ripley ended up coming out. Rhea Ripley came out to the stage, she got on the mic, and told Liv Morgan to shut up. So Rhea ended up saying that before Liv thinks about running away, because she can't attack her from behind, she won't hit Liv Morgan. So Rhea then entered the ring. The crowd was chanting for Rhea. They were chanting mommy. Love how over Rhea Ripley is. So Liv Morgan ended up shouting, "Shut up," to the crowd. So Rhea ended up saying that she has something she needs to tell Liv. Dominic stood in front of Liv. Rhea Ripley ended up sarcastically saying that it looks like Dominic has found some cojones. She ended up saying that he'll do nothing, so he needs to get out of her face before she makes him. To which Liv Morgan ended up saying that he might have stayed with Rhea if she cared about him half as much as Damian Priest. So Liv Morgan ended up wondering if Rhea is out here to say that she can't compete at Bad Blood after weeks of her bashing Rhea's knee. So Liv Morgan ended up saying that she won't let Rhea get out of this match and that she's going to beat Rhea. She ended up saying that she won't beat Rhea because she's bigger or stronger. Liv ended up saying that she will beat Rhea because she's smarter than her, and that she's been in Rhea's head for months. So Liv ended up wanting to know why Rhea interrupted her. So Rhea ended up announcing that she is fully cleared for Bad Blood. She ended up saying that this message is for both Dominic and Liv. Rhea ended up saying that since Dom always wants to stick his nose in the Women's World Championship business, the only reason that Liv won and has retained the title in every match is because of Dominic. So Rhea ended up saying Adam Pearce has decided something. She ended up saying that at Bad Blood, Dominic will be exactly where he deserves to be, behind bars. So Rhea ended up saying that for the match, Dominic will be hanging in a shark cage. So Dominic wasn't happy about that. Liv wasn't happy. So Rhea ended up saying that when there is nowhere to hide, nowhere to run, and no one to help Liv, she'll take back what she never lost, her Women's World Championship. So Rhea ended up saying, as to what she said before about not attacking Liv Morgan, Rhea was like, "Oh, I take that back." So Rhea then headbutted Liv Morgan in her mouth. Liv Morgan ended up going down. Dominic then checked on Liv. Rhea then ended up chuckling, and she ended up leaving the ring, and that was how the segment ended. But overall, I thought this was a okay segment to open Monday Night Raw here. You know, Liv Morgan on the mic at points, you know, she was very cringe, in my opinion. But I really like that they added Dominic going into a shark cage and hanging above the ring as Rhea and Liv go one-on-one for the title. I mean, they could have done it a different way and just have Dominic be barred from ringside. But I have no problem with it. I have no problem with them putting Dominic in a shark cage, hanging him above the ring as Rhea and Liv go at it. But overall, okay segment to open the show. And then we had the first match of the night. Sami Zayn versus Ludwig Kaiser. And this was a good match here. Really enjoyed this match. So the match ended up starting off with Kaiser shoving Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn ended up throwing his ring jacket into Kaiser's face. Kaiser angrily kicked Sami Zayn's jacket away. Both guys circled the ring. Sami Zayn started jabbing at Kaiser. Both guys locked up. Kaiser powered Sami into the corner. He started punching away at Sami in the corner, but Sami Zayn ended up fighting out. Sami Zayn bounced Kaiser off the top turnbuckle, and he started stomping Kaiser down. Kaiser then rolled out of the ring to recover. Sami went to the outside to meet Kaiser, but Kaiser cut Sami off, and he had to send Sami into the ring post head first. So Kaiser then ended up punching Sami in his forehead. Kaiser then whipped Sami into the ring steps, and he got Sami back into the ring. Kaiser then ended up hitting the ropes. He ended up kicking Sami in his chest. He ended up going for the cover, to which Sami kicked out. Sami slowly got to his knees. Kaiser ended up sending Sami into the corner, and he hung Sami over the second rope. Kaiser then hit the ropes, and he drop-kicked Sami upside down. Sami started fighting back. He came off the middle rope with a diving axe handle to Kaiser. Sami Zayn then ended up clotheslining Kaiser over the top rope. Kaiser got to his feet at ringside. Sami then got out of the ring and chopped at Kaiser's chest. Kaiser then reversed the whip into the barricade, but Sami ended up leaping to the top. Sami, at this point, he nearly lost his balance. And Kaiser shoved Sami off headfirst into the timekeeper's chair. So Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, the crowd was cheering for Sami. They were behind him. Kaiser ended up putting Sami on the top rope. Kaiser ended up hooking Sami's head for a superplex, but Sami ended up fighting out. He started clubbing away at Kaiser's back. Sami then went for the sunset flip powerbomb to Kaiser, to which he went for the cover, to which Kaiser kicked out. Sami then pulled himself up on the ropes. He grabbed Kaiser for an exploder suplex into the turnbuckles. Sami then ended up charging for a haluva kick at Kaiser, but Kaiser ended up rolling out of the ring to avoid the haluva kick. Sami then grabbed at Kaiser. Kaiser then cut Sami off with a headbutt, and he bounced Sami off of the steel steps. And that led to Kaiser spitting on Sami. Kaiser then got in the ring, and he exited the ring on the other side. Kaiser then started running around the ring, and he drop-kicked Sami's head into the steel steps. I like when Kaiser does that, where he runs around the ring and does the drop kick into his opponent's head into those steel steps. So the ref was counting both Sami and Kaiser. Kaiser then got into the ring. Sami Zayn was looking dazed. You know, he was selling that drop kick from Kaiser into the steel steps. So Sami Zayn barely ended up beating the count. Kaiser was furious and started mounting Sami, and he started punching away at Sami. Kaiser then started talking some trash, and he pulled at Sami's beard. Sami tried to pull himself up on Kaiser, but Kaiser ended up grabbing Sami and brought him to his feet. Sami started punching Kaiser a few times. We had Sami tried to go for a Blue Thunder Bomb to Kaiser, but Kaiser fought out of that. Kaiser ended up rolling him up, and he put his feet on the ropes. And the ref ended up seeing Kaiser's feet on the ropes, and he stopped the count. So Kaiser was looking to go for a cheap win there if the ref didn't see his feet on the ropes. So Kaiser started arguing with the ref. Sami then ended up greeting Kaiser with an exploder into the turnbuckles. He then charged for a haluva kick, but Kaiser ended up wiping Sami out with a flying kick to his skull. Kaiser ended up going for the cover, to which Sami kicked out. Kaiser started sneering at Sami. He got to his feet. Kaiser ended up setting up for his DDT, but Sami countered that into a German suplex to Kaiser. Kaiser ended up pulling himself up in the corner, and that led to Sami end up delivering the haluva kick to Kaiser. So Sami went for the cover, and there you go. Sami Zayn ended up winning the match. Post-match, Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, he ended up charging down to the ring. He was dressed to compete. So Sami was looking a little worried there. Gunther stood at ringside, and he grabbed the mic. Gunther ended up saying that Sami has been begging him for weeks for a match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther ended up saying that he's seen enough, and that if Sami really wants this more than anything else, then Ontario, California is the right place for it. So Gunther ended up saying that tonight is the right time for it. Gunther ended up saying that he will step up to Sami and tell him right here and now. His answer is no. So the crowd ended up booing at Gunther. Gunther ended up laughing, and he ended up walking off, and pretty much that was basically that. But overall, very good match this was between Sami Zayn and Ludwig Kaiser here. You know, good back and forth between the both of them. And Gunther ended up tricking Sami, thinking that he was going to have the match, you know, with Sami for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's going to come at some point. It definitely will. And then we saw Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods was backstage. Kofi walked up to Xavier with, Francesca, his purple trombone, Xavier Woods' trombone, and also some bootios. So Woods ended up telling Kofi that his emotions were high last week. Kofi ended up saying to Woods that he mentioned the New Day needs to get back on track ahead of their 10th anniversary, which is happening in November. So Kofi ended up telling Woods that he dug through the archives to find some things that made them great. So Woods ended up saying that this was all fine when they were on top. The bootios, and Xavier Woods had Francesca, the trombone. So we had Woods end up saying that they haven't been champions in 3 years, and that they need to get more serious and lock in. Kofi ended up saying that for the next few weeks, Woods can call the shots for the New Day. So then American Made ended up coming up to the New Day, and they started laughing at them. Of course, Chad Gable, the Creed brothers, Ivy Nile. Chad Gable ended up saying that these two are examples of what not to do as a tag team, bringing out toys and sugar to reignite a dead spark. So Kofi ended up pretending that the Wyatt Six were behind American Made. So that ended up scaring Gable and the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. So Gable ended up saying they are serious. Woods ended up saying that they'll show American Made what they're made of and why they're 12-time tag team champions. Gable ended up saying that they better be off sitting back here playing video games. Of course, Gable was referencing, Xavier Woods' channel Up, Up, Down, Down, because, of course, he is a true gamer. So Bruce ended up calling them nerds. He was like, oh, nerds. Yeah, that's what he was like. That's what Brutus Creed was like. Sounded like a little kid when he said that. So Gable ended up accepting the match against the Creeds. So we had a person with a plate of pancakes walk up behind Woods. Kofi was waving the guy off, and that was basically that. But it was cool to see the Bootios again. It was cool to see, Francesca, the trombone. Kofi had one of the Cheerios, the Bootios, when they made their, I think it was WrestleMania 33, where they had the box of Bootios, and they opened the show, and the Bootios box tipped over. You saw all the Bootios fly out. They had that. Kofi had that. But that was, the segment, and it was going to be the Creeds versus the New Day later on in the night. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Liv Morgan and Dominic. Both Liv and Dominic were arguing with Adam Pearce. Pearce ended up telling Liv and Dominic that the decision to put Dominic in the shark cage is final. So Pearce ended up walking off. Carlito and Jey McDonough end up walking up to Dominic and Liv. Liv Morgan ended up saying that they'll send a message to the LWO to stay out of their business. So Carlito ended up saying that he will take care of Dragon Lee for good, and that Dominic and McDonough will be with him. So they walked off. Ilya Dragunov stood in their way. McDonough ended up threatening Dragunov, but Dragunov ended up saying that McDonough will do nothing. McDonough ended up saying that they have Judgment Day business to handle, but he'll see Dragunov around. And pretty much that was basically that. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had Dragon Lee versus Carlito. This match was filler. A typical filler match this was. So we had Cruz del Toro, Walking Wild, and Zelina Vega. They accompanied Dragon Lee. Of course, JD McDonough and Dominic accompanied Carlito. Match got underway. Dragon Lee ended up drop kicking Carlito out of the ring. He ended up pinning a suicide dive to Carlito. Dragon Lee got Carlito back into the ring and kicked Carlito in the face. Dragon Lee then super kicked Carlito to the corner, and Dragon Lee ended up charging at him, but Carlito ended up delivering a clothesline, turning Dragon Lee inside out. He then started punching away at Dragon Lee, ended up stomping on him. Dragon Lee managed to kick Carlito back. He ended up pinning a running hurricanrana to Carlito. Dragon Lee then ended up pinning a running kick and a slingshot kick to Carlito's chest. We had Dragon Lee end up pulling Carlito into the center of the ring. He headed up to the top rope, but JD McDonough distracted Dragon Lee. Dominic then ended up attacking Joaquin Wilde from behind. McDonough then ended up sending Cruz del Toro into the ring post. So Dominic and McDonough end up celebrating because they end up attacking, Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro. And then out of nowhere, Rey Mysterio took out his son Dominic with a flying Sea Senton off the barricade. So Dragon Lee ended up rolling Carlito up, and Carlito kicked out. Dragon Lee ended up avoiding an avalanche, and he took Carlito down with the twisting reverse DDT. He went for the cover, and there you go. Dragon Lee ended up winning the match. Post-match, Dragon Lee then celebrated with his LWO fam, and that was that. Like I said, this was a typical filler match. And then we saw The Miz. The Miz was warming up backstage, getting ready for his match against Bronson Reed. But Karrion Kross walked up to The Miz. Kross ended up saying to The Miz that he wants to check up on him before his match against Bronson Reed. Kross ended up saying that he thinks it's messed up that people think Miz has no chance. Kross ended up saying that he wants Miz to be himself and do whatever it takes to win. He ended up saying monsters come in all shapes and sizes. So the Miz ended up agreeing, and he walked off. And Karrion Kross was shown smirking. And pretty much that was basically that. I guess, Karrion Kross, wants to talk some sense into the Miz. But that was that. And then we saw Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage. She was interviewing Sheamus. She ended up asking Sheamus if he is done with Pete Dunne after being hit with a cricket bat and losing last week. Sheamus ended up saying to Kathy Kelly that people have been telling him to call Pete Dunne Butch. He ended up saying after what he did, he has a score to settle. He ended up saying that there is nothing more dangerous than an Irishman with a score to settle. Sheamus ended up saying, let's make this an English-Irish thing, Butch. To which the crowd was chanting, Butch. And that was that. And then we went to The Miz versus Bronson Reed. To which this match did not get underway. Because as Bronson Reed ended up coming out, Braun Strowman came off the barricade and he delivered a diving clothesline to Bronson Reed. Strowman ripped off his shirt and he celebrated. Strowman then uppercutted Reed and he ended up chokeslamming Reed on the apron. Miz then got into Strowman's face and he started arguing with him. So as Miz and Strowman were arguing, Bronson Reed took both of them out with a suicide dive, which was crazy. Bronson Reed got Strowman into the ring. Reed headed to the top rope to deliver the tsunami, but security guards end up running down. So pretty much basically, Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed were just taking out all of the security that were coming into the ring to separate the both of them. We had Bronson Reed end up headbutting one of the security guards down, and he threw the other security guard off the top rope onto one of the guards. Reed then ended up delivering the tsunami to both, security guards. Strowman ended up giving two guards a double choke slam on the other side of the ring. So pretty much it was basically just Strowman and Reed just taking out, more of these security guards that were sent down by Adam Pearce. And pretty much, that was basically the segment. Just Strowman and Reed, just trying to fight off the security that were trying to separate the both of them. And pretty much that was basically that. But this feud between Strowman and Bronson Reed, this is the most entertaining feud going on Monday Night Raw so far. I'm so into this feud. They have been doing a great job with this. And there was a announcement made by Adam Pearce, which, I will get to, which he ended up announcing later on. But this was an awesome segment here with Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, just taking out all of these security guards, just annihilating them. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre ended up coming out. He stood in the ring. The crowd was chanting CM Punk. So McIntyre ended up saying that he repeats the promises CM Punk made last week. He ended up saying that he has been thinking about what he said and the look in his eyes. He ended up saying that Punk meant every single word. And that for once, Punk was real. McIntyre ended up saying that Punk is willing to sacrifice everything for this to end. McIntyre ended up saying that he has always told the truth and been honest about Punk. But he's kept the personal stuff to himself because he's fighting a greater cause. He ended up saying that if Punk wants to put it all out there, so will he. McIntyre ended up saying that he does not want to go back into Hell in a Cell. That he's been in the match more than once and is still fixing broken things. So McIntyre ended up saying that Punk's sisters begged him not to do this match. And Punk's wife begged him not to do this match. McIntyre ended up saying that his family has begged him not to do the match. And that they know it's gone too far. McIntyre ended up saying that even his wife has begged him for months to get away from Punk because of how it's impacted him mentally. So that led to another CM Punk chant from the crowd in Ontario. McIntyre ended up saying that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks, and that this match will happen at Bad Blood. McIntyre ended up saying that he has some promises of his own, and that he promises to make Punk bleed a lot. McIntyre ended up saying that he'll make Punk suffer and feel more pain than he's ever felt in his entire existence. He ended up saying that it's appropriate that Punk compare himself to the devil, because this has always been good versus evil. Punk ended up saying that he compares himself to supernatural things, but he's just a man that McIntyre has broken so easily in the past. He ended up saying that Punk is a man that McIntyre will end permanently inside Hell in a Cell. And that was what McIntyre had to say. But another good promo from McIntyre here. Cannot wait for this Hell in a Cell match between the both of them. It's going to be good. And then we had Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond was backstage with Adam Pearce. Redmond ended up asking Pearce about how he'll handle Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, this whole situation between the both of them. Pearce ended up telling Jackie Redmond that this situation between the both of them, Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, has to stop. So Pearce ended up announcing that next week on Raw, Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman will face one more time in a last monster standing match. So, looking forward to that. So, after that announcement from Adam Pearce was, done, we had a commotion backstage. Pearce ended up running over to see what it was. He ran over to see Pete Dunne choking Sheamus with a cricket bat. Pete Dunne ended up hitting Sheamus with the cricket bat. Pearce ended up shouting at Pete Dunne, and he ended up telling security to get a medic. And I'm like, Pearce ended up shouting, to get security. How are there any security guards left after Pearce ended up sending almost all of them out to stop Bronson Reed and Strowman? I doubt that there are that much security guards left. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Io Sky and Kairi Sane of Damage Control. They were preparing for their match against the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and they were approached by the Women's Tag Team Champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Bianca ended up saying that Io caught her slipping last week, and that it won't happen again. Io ended up saying that she looks forward to the next time they fight, because it'll be for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Jade Cargill ended up saying that they'll always stand on business, and that Io and Kairi won't touch their titles. Bianca ended up saying that Io and Kairi need to focus on the Unholy Union because they have their number. And so pretty much that was basically that. And then we had Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the Unholy Union, versus Damage Control, Io Sky and Kairi Sane. And, we've seen these teams go at it before. This is nothing new. It was a decent match here, but how many times are we going to see this? So, match got underway with Io and Isla Dawn starting it off. Dawn ended up clubbing Io down, ended up pushing Io against the ropes. Dawn ended up pushing Io against the ropes and started clubbing her. Dawn ended up sending Io into the ropes, but Io ended up flipping over Dawn, ended up taking her down. Kairi Sane then tagged in. She tripped Isla Dawn, and Kairi Sane ended up kicking Dawn in the spine. So, Damage Control, Io, and Kairi end up hitting Dawn with a double team drop kick. Alba Fire end up running in. Sane end up hitting Alba Fire with a head scissors takeover. Kairi then avalanched Alba Fire and Isla Dawn in the corner, and she ended up hitting Dawn with a sliding club. Kairi Sane came off the top rope with a flying right hand. She ended up going for the cover, to which Dawn ended up kicking out. Dawn ended up cutting Kairi Sane off with some strikes, but Kairi Sane ended up fighting back. Alba Fire then distracted Kairi, and Dawn ended up snapping her off the top rope. So Sane ended up grabbing her eye, which got injured, a few weeks back. So that led to Alba Fire end up hitting Io with a suicide dive. So then Monday Night Raw with commercial. Then when it came back from commercial, Alba Fire was in control, and she ended up hitting Kairi with a front suplex. Isla Dawn ended up following up with a running kick. She ended up going for the cover, to which Kairi ended up kicking out. So at the end of the match, we had Kairi end up knocking Alba Fire off the apron. Io ended up taking Isla Dawn down. Kairi ended up diving to the floor with a wild, insane elbow on Alba Fire. Io then ended up hitting Isla Dawn with the over the moonsault. She ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Damage Control, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky ended up winning the match. Overall, decent women's match it was, but we've seen them go at it before. And then we saw Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was interviewing Bron Breakker. She ended up asking Breakker about his match against Jey later on tonight. Breakker ended up telling Kathy Kelly that it's game day, which means the dogs are out in Ontario. He ended up saying there will be a winner and a loser. He ended up saying after tonight, it won't be Jey carrying the Intercontinental Championship. He ended up saying someone will get their ass kicked, and it won't be him. He ended up saying whenever Jey works his way back up the ladder, maybe he'll give Jey another chance, because he'll be a champion for a long time. So Breakker ended up walking off, and that was basically that. And then we saw the confrontation between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns from Georgia Tech, which this promo aired on SmackDown on Friday, which I didn't watch SmackDown, but this was a good promo from Cody and Roman, there at Georgia Tech. So very cinematic, how it was filmed, but really liked it. And then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Jey Uso, Mr. Yeet. He was warming up. Sami Zayn ended up approaching Jey. Sami ended up saying to Jey that it's a big night, and that the Intercontinental Championship meant a lot to him. So Sami Zayn ended up telling Jey tonight he makes the title his. So both Sami and Jey ended up slapping hands, and that was that. Sami Zayn wishing Jey luck in winning the title. And then we had the New Day versus the Creed Brothers. And this was a good match here. Very entertaining. Xavier Woods and Julius Creed start off the match. Both guys locked up. Woods quickly ended up hooking a side headlock on Julius. Julius ended up twisting out of the headlock and apply a side headlock of his own on Xavier Woods. Woods whipped Julius off, but Julius ended up shoulder tackling Woods down. Woods got to his feet. Both guys locked up again. Julius ended up pounding Woods against the ropes and started punching him. Woods fought back, ended up chopping Julius, but Julius came back and delivered a forearm to Woods. Julius ended up sending Woods into the corner. He ended up catching Woods' attempted a slingshot, but Woods slid off. Woods hit the ropes and slid through Julius's legs, and he ended up hitting a clothesline to Julius. Woods then connected with a running elbow in the corner. Kofi ended up tagging in. Kofi hit a pendulum kick to Julius. Kofi then ended up hitting a springboard splash to Julius, which he went for the cover, to which Julius kicked out. Kofi then started wrenching at Julius's arm, but Julius elbowed Kofi in the face. Brutus Creed ended up tagging in. Julius dropped an elbow onto Kofi, and then Julius then slammed Brutus onto Kofi. Brutus ended up going for the cover, to which Kofi ended up kicking out. Brutus then applied a front face lock, and he did a gator roll on Kofi. Brutus then forearmed Kofi in the face, and he ended up running Kofi over with a shoulder tackle. Brutus then ended up cackling, and he hit the ropes. Kofi then ended up leapfrogging over Brutus twice, and Kofi ended up delivering a leaping elbow. Kofi then went for the big splash, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Brutus kicked out. Woods then tagged in, and both Kofi and Xavier ended up wrenching Brutus's arms, and they ended up chopping him. Both of the New Day ended up hitting the double team bulldog to Brutus, so Woods ended up going for the cover, to which Brutus ended up kicking out. Woods then ended up hitting a leaping fist to Brutus's head, and he tagged Kofi back in. Kofi ended up getting on Woods' shoulders, and he flips onto Brutus, to which he ended up going for the cover, to which Brutus kicked out. Woods was back in the match, and Kofi ended up sending Brutus into the corner. Woods ended up hitting Brutus with a running forearm, and Woods ended up chopping him. Brutus ended up turning Woods around, ended up delivering some strikes to Woods. So Woods ended up chopping back at Brutus, and he started punching at him. Woods ended up doing the 10 punches to Brutus in the corner. He leapt off to hit Julius with an axe handle, which was great. Julius then ended up quickly powering Kofi into the corner. Woods had Brutus on the top turnbuckle. Julius had Kofi on the opposite corner. So Julius ended up hitting Kofi with a superplex. Woods ended up hitting Brutus with the superplex. So both teams were down. Really like that spot there where, Julius ended up hitting Kofi with a superplex. Woods hit Brutus with a superplex. Good spot there. And then, Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Woods ended up trying to make a tag to Kofi, but Brutus kept Woods back from making the tag to Kofi. So Woods ended up managing to take Brutus out with a clothesline. Julius ran in. Woods ended up sidestepping, and he ended up sending Julius out of the ring. Woods ended up tagging Kofi, but Chad Gable was distracting the ref. So the ref was holding Kofi back because the ref didn't see Woods make the tag to Kofi because of Chad Gable distracting the ref. So the ref ended up sending Kofi back to the corner. The Creed Brothers ended up taking Woods down. Woods fought back, but Brutus ended up delivering some strikes to Woods. Brutus ended up laying Woods out with a forearm to his head. Brutus then ended up whipping Woods hard into the corner. He ended up putting Woods on the top rope, and he continued to strike Woods. So Woods ended up knocking Brutus down. He headbutted Brutus down to the canvas. Woods then hit the missile dropkick onto Brutus. And that led to Kofi and Julius being tagged in. So Kofi and Julius end up going at it. Kofi ended up hitting a springboard punch, followed up by some strikes and a dropkick to Julius. Brutus then intercepted, but Kofi superkicked Brutus. So we had Kofi ended up trying to go for a SOS to Julius, but Julius ended up flying out. Kofi ended up kicking Julius in the head to take him down. Woods tagged in, and Kofi ended up hitting Brutus with a somersault senton. Woods ended up going to the ropes, but he got distracted by Chad Gable. Woods ended up bringing Gable into the ring. He had thrown Gable into the ring the hard way because, of course, Gable was on the ring apron. So Woods was irate, and he started attacking Gable with some punches. Woods ended up stomping away at Gable. Woods ended up turning, and Julius ended up kneeing Woods in the face. Julius ended up avoiding Kofi's attack, and he shoulder tackled Kofi. Brutus tagged in, and the Creed Brothers ended up hitting a Brutus ball on Woods. So we had Brutus end up going for the cover, and there you go. The Creed Brothers ended up winning the match. Overall, very good match this was, and another loss for the New Day. And then we had a promo from Damian Priest. Damian Priest ended up saying that there was a saying he liked to use growing up. Am I my brother's keeper? He ended up saying on the street, everyone was ready to stab you in the back. He ended up saying that life can bring you to unexpected places. He ended up going on to say that life brought him to the Judgment Day, a crew that became a family, and a brother to keep, Finn Balor. He ended up saying that when Balor joined him and Rhea Ripley, they talked about running the company. And they did exactly that. But Balor always wanted it to be about him. So Priest was like, then what happened? Rhea Ripley becomes the Women's World Champion. So Priest ended up saying that he shed a tear because he was proud of his sister in Rhea Ripley. And that Balor was envious. Priest ended up saying that he became world champion. And on camera, Balor was the happiest one. And off camera, he was envious. So Priest ended up saying Balor might think his heart makes him weak. Is he his brother's keeper? Priest ended up saying that he will always be. But Balor is not his brother. And pretty much that was basically what Damian Priest, had to say. But overall, this was a good promo from Damian Priest here. Hyping up the match against Finn Balor, Priest versus Balor, which is taking place at Bad Blood. So, looking forward to it. I forgot to mention, there was a little teaser that was shown where it showed like a V in a circle, which a lot of people online were like, well, this could be the debut of the Lucha Brothers, of Penta and Rey Fenix. But I don't think it's that. I think this whole symbol that they teased tonight was going to be the return of the Viking Raiders. Because you saw, a V in the circle. So that tease, was a tease of the Viking Raiders making their return. So we'll see Eric and Ivar back soon, along with Valhalla, maybe. So then we saw another Wyatt 6 video about the Red that said, you speak, we follow. And another QR code was shown. Haven't seen, what the QR code is. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, they promoted Saturday night's main event, which is going to be held at Nassau Coliseum on December 14th in Long Island. Thinking of maybe going because it's the first time that Saturday night's main event, has been held in a while. It's been a long while since WWE did a Saturday night's main event. Can't remember what the last Saturday night's main event was. See right here. Look it up here. So, yeah, but it's been a while since they did one. Last Saturday night's main event. Last Saturday night's main event was in 2008. Wow, 2008. Been a long while since they did one. But I'm looking forward to Saturday night's main event coming back. I mean, I saw the ticket prices for Saturday night's main event at Nassau Coliseum, and it's quite pricey. But I don't know. Thinking of may attend Saturday night's main event, but who knows? Talked with some friends if they want to go, but we'll see. Maybe we'll go, maybe we'll not. It's all up in the air. So it's not until December. And now we saw the Pure Fusion Collective, the Pure Shit Collective, in a promo. Sonya Deville ended up saying that every other team is a failure. They lift each other up, put on sparkly outfits, and do stupid dances. She ended up saying that the Pure Fusion Collective is the foundation and the future of the women's division. Really? Sonya Deville's a comedian there when she said, oh, they're the future of the women's division. Yeah, sure. She ended up saying, if you want to step up, shoot your shot. Who cares? Nobody cares about Pure Fusion Collective. Pure Shit Collective. And then we saw Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston was backstage with Xavier Woods. He ended up asking Xavier what happened. Woods was frustrated. He ended up saying that he knows what happened. Rey Mysterio walked up to Kofi and Xavier Woods with the LWO, and Rey ended up apologizing for what happened last week. To which Woods was not happy. Rey ended up saying that they're the New Day, and they will get better. Woods ended up saying that this is unsolicited advice that would have been better if he gave it to his son. To which he said that to Rey. So Rey ended up saying that he doesn't have time for this, and that he has to face Balor next week. So Woods ended up flipping out. He ended up thinking Rey is looking past him. So Kofi ended up insisting that Rey didn't mean anything by it. And that Rey ended up saying that Balor can wait. So Rey ended up saying that he'll fight Xavier Woods next week. So Rey and the LWO ended up walking off. Kofi ended up telling Woods that was unnecessary. And Woods ended up saying to Kofi that he's tired of being disrespected. And this is all leading up to maybe Xavier Woods turn heel. Maybe this will happen on the 10th anniversary of the New Day. When the New Day fully formed. And that's when we'll get, Xavier Woods, turn heel on Kofi. There's a lot of people saying that, maybe Kofi will be the one to turn heel. I think it's more of Xavier Woods turn heel on Kofi. That's how the way I see it. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, they announced what we're going to see next week on Raw. Of course, we're going to have Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman in the Last Monster Standing match. We're going to see Kofi Kingston versus Chad Gable. And Xavier Woods will take on Rey Mysterio. So that's all to look forward to next week on Monday Night Raw. Main event. Jey Uso, Mr. Yeet. He ended up taking on Bron Breakker. Intercontinental Championship on the line. And this was a very good main event here. Really enjoyed this match. Before the match got underway, Jey Uso was shown in the concourse area. Fans were excited to be around him. The camera followed Jey into the arena. And this match was to determine, if Jey will win his first championship as a singles competitor. So the match got underway. We had Jey end up grabbing for a waist lock to Bron Breakker. And then he transitioned into a side headlock on Breakker. Breakker whipped Jey off and Show tackled him down. And the crowd was just barking at Bron Breakker. Tell how over Bron Breakker is. Every city that they go to, Bron Breakker has his fans, with the crowds, doing the dog bark at him. Breakker then ended up looking across the ring at Jey. Jey was shown holding his shoulder. Jey ended up grabbing another waistlock. He ended up going to the side headlock. Breakker ended up sending Jey to the corner, but Jey slingshotted over Breakker, and he ended up delivering an uppercut to him. Breakker was shown stumbling, and he fell out of the ring. Jey ended up taking out Bron Breakker with a suicide dive, and he got into the ring, and he was hearing the yeet chants from the crowd. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Jey was shown unloading on Breakker with the 10 punches. Jey ended up setting up for a clothesline, but Breakker ended up ducking, and he ended up hitting the ropes. Jey ended up trying to go for a leapfrog, but Breakker countered that with a power slam to Jey. Breakker then ended up grabbing Jey and powered him to the corner. He ended up delivering some shoulder thrusts to Jey. Breakker then ended up grabbing Jey and whipped him into the corner. So Breakker ended up getting Jey to his feet. He whipped him hard into the corner again. Jey then collapsed to the canvas in pain. Breakker ended up pulling Jey to his feet. Jey ended up fighting back with some right hands to Breakker. Breakker quickly ended up cutting Jey off, ended up delivering a overhead belly-to-belly suplex. Breakker then started taunting the crowd, and he dug his knee into Jey's neck. So Breakker then ended up starting to stretch Jey on the canvas, but Jey ended up fighting up. Breakker ended up stomping the momentum. He ended up going for a suplex to Jey, but Jey blocked the suplex attempt. So both Breakker and Jey ended up each attempting to suplex each other, but to no avail. Breakker was finally able to deliver a front suplex to Jey onto the top rope. Jey then ended up falling down to the canvas. Breakker started mounting Jey and started punching away at his face. So Breakker ended up sending Jey into the corner, ended up hitting a backbreaker to Jey. Breakker ended up going for the cover, but he ended up sliding off to do some push-ups. So Jey ended up pulling himself up on Breakker. Breakker started to talk trash to Jey, and he ended up pushing Jey. So Jey ended up powering Breakker to the corner. He stunned him with a snap kick to Breakker's skull. Jey then clotheslined Breakker over the top rope, and he got the crowd going, to which the crowd was just cheering the hell for Jey. So we had Jey end up hitting the ropes for a suicide dive. Breakker ended up punching Jey in the face. Breakker then ended up bouncing Jey off the commentary table. He then ended up going to the apron and hit a diving bulldog to Jey onto the commentary table. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when it came back from commercial, Jey was shown punching away at Breakker. Jey ended up flattening Breakker with a right hand. Jey then ended up hitting a run hip attack in the corner. He went for the cover on Breakker, to which Breakker ended up kicking out. We had Jey end up hitting a pop-up Samoan drop to Breakker. He went for the cover, and Breakker ended up kicking out. So Breakker ended up scaling the ropes. He hit the Frankensteiner on Jey. Nice Frankensteiner by Braun. So we had Breakker end up going for the cover, and Jey kicked out of that, to which Breakker couldn't believe that Jey ended up kicking out. He couldn't believe that didn't end the match there. So we had Breakker end up hitting a gorilla press slam to Jey. He ended up going for the cover, to which Jey kicked out. Jey then rolled out of the ring to recover. Breakker ran around the ring, and he connected with a spear on the floor to Jey. Breakker then ended up getting Jey into the ring. He pulled a strap down. Breakker then hit the ropes, but Jey ended up delivering a spear of his own to Breakker. Jey ended up going to the top rope, and he hit the Uso splash onto Breakker. So Jey went for the cover, and Breakker ended up kicking out, to which, when all this was going down, the crowd was erupting for Jey. So Breakker got to his feet. He was sneering at Jey. We had the crowd end up chanting, "Ref, you suck," because they all thought that was a 3 count. But Breakker ended up kicking Jey out of the ring. Breakker ended up exiting on the other end of the ring. He ended up charging for a spear, but Jey ended up cutting Breakker off with a nice super kick. Nice looking super kick by Jey, to which when that camera ended up going over there, and then you just saw Jey deliver that super kick to Breakker. That was great. And then Jey ended up hitting Breakker with a spear through the barricade, which that was cool. Jey ended up getting Breakker in the ring, and he connected with another spear to Breakker. Jey ended up heading up to the top rope again, and he delivered another Uso splash onto Breakker. Jey went for the cover, and there you go. Jey Uso ended up winning the match, and he is your new Intercontinental Champion. And this is his first championship win as a singles competitor. Which, I wasn't expecting Bron Breakker to drop the title this soon. But gotta give it to Jey Uso. The crowd erupted when Jey won. It was just a great reaction from the crowd. So Jey headed into the crowd with the Intercontinental Championship. He celebrated. Pyro was going off. And that was how Monday Night Raw went off the air. Overall, very good main event this was. Really enjoyed this match. The crowd was so into it. And Jey Uso winning his first singles championship in his career. That's a highlight there for him. But overall, Monday Night Raw, solid show it was. But anyway, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. It's Grand Slam. So it's got a great card, there. Sadly, not attending Grand Slam this year. So I will be reviewing, of course, Dynamite Grand Slam this Wednesday. And it's going to be the final time that Grand Slam will be at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Of course, next year they will be in Australia for Grand Slam. So we'll see how the show goes on Wednesday. So see you all then.